Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champ Darrell Wright. I am Bonte Hill, and this season is a wrap as the Warriors deal the Celtics 3 straight losses to secure their 4th championship in the last 8 years, and they're now in sole position in third place with 7 titles all time. And what a season for the Golden State Warriors, capped off with a devastating run there. They held off the Celtics in the second half, right? But that 21-0 run in the second quarter was huge. It
was huge. It was demoralizing. The three-making ability of Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins. It was just an amazing run for the Golden State Warriors. They got it done. A lot of people counted these guys out because they're the OGs, but they found a way on the defensive end and also on the offensive end to get it done.
And we talked pregame about the energy in the building and fighting that first surge of energy by the Celtics. Celtics came out and put it on the Warriors early. But I thought the finals experience of Steph, Clay, and Draymond really showed out. I thought they were patient, persistent, and just played through that first energy wave and really put a classic NBA champion Warrior clinic on all night long, defensively, offensively. Thought they went back to more ball movement, not as many ball screens. Defensively, they forced 22 turnovers by the Celtics. And you said about that, they had a 21-0 to run and then a 15-2 run.
Right.
Anytime the Celtics made a little bit of a run, the Warriors had an answer, and just an incredible finish to a wonderful season and an incredible 8-year run, right? So 6 finals in 8 years. They got 4 championships now. And just an amazing performance by Steph Curry, who will be the finals MVP. I thought a vintage, as you said, Bonte, Draymond Green.
Oh, man.
Hovering around, a triple-double, was aggressive, was moving beautifully up and down the court, offensively, defensively.
Yep.
Clay, not a great performance.
No.
But those 3 players, I just think their experience, their poise through this first part of that game really stabilized things. And then Steph took over, and here we are with their 4th championship. An amazing accomplishment.
Amazing run. Don't forget about Jordan Poole's 11 points in that first half as he saw Tri-City going crazy. And here you go, Bob Myers, Steve Kerr. Look at it. Is that Sean Livingston right there on the set?
Okay.
That's Dot. Okay, we see you. Draymond Green, Clay. Andre Iguodala gets a ring as well, his 4th championship. And you talk about Draymond Green, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Stephen Curry with 34 points. Andrew Wiggins with more solid defense. On Jason Tatum, he also chipped in with 18 points. And the Warriors, that 21-0 run, think about this, Willie and D, right? The Celtics come out on fire in that first quarter. They're up 14-2. TD Garden is rocking. Warriors are sloppy with the basketball. They then go on a 35-8 run to take full control of this basketball game. And as you mentioned, that wasn't even the most devastating run. The 15-2 run, D, right, to close the half was huge for the Golden State Warriors, and they really stabilized this basketball game, and they led the rest of the way. They never led by less than 8 points the rest of the way in this game.
Yeah, they showed that championship pedigree. They came out, they took that first punch like Mully mentioned, and they found a way. They calmed down. You could tell a lot of those guys were super excited. The adrenaline was pumping, but they calmed down. The leaders, they got everybody out of there, got them back in the game. They knocked down big shots. The ball was popping. Everybody got a touch, and they were shooting the shots with confidence. They knew this was their chance to put the Boston Celtics away, and they came out and did that on both ends of the floor.
Again, I think the experience of Steph, Clay, and Draymond during that first quarter surge, they didn't get rattled. They stayed calm. And then after the energy goes away, then it's time to execute, both offensively and defensively. And the Warriors took the game over with exactly that. Perfect execution offensively. I thought defensively all series long, they were great, forcing the Celtics' 3 best players, Tatum, Brown, and Smart, to play off the dribble, play in crowds, forcing either contested tough shots. The Celtics missed a lot of contested layups. And ultimately what did them in was the turnover.
Well, think about the defense. Everybody talked about the Celtics defense coming into the series as a top defense, one of the best defenses in modern history, right? Well, the Warriors had the number 2 defense all season long, and they were the team that played the better defense in the series. Think about this, Bully. 4 out of 6 games, the Celtics scored 97 or less. 97 or less against the smaller, the tuxedo, Mr. Tuxedo guys, Golden State Warriors, the more finesse team. The Warriors also play defense, and they've played defense over these last 8 seasons.
Well, the unique thing about the Warriors defense is they have tremendous individual defenders in Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Gary Payton II. Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Otto Porter, they're all great team defenders. And they understand exactly what Steve Kerr is trying to have them do strategically, and that's pressure the ball, And I think the Celtics, their style of play offensively was a perfect matchup for this Warrior defense because they play off the dribble all the time. And when you do that, the Warriors are perfect at being in the right positions on a weak side, playing boxes and elbows, and having the Celtic players playing crowds. And that forced them either to take incredibly tough twos or really turn the ball over too much.
Yeah, lack of a true point guard really hurt the Celtics in this series, D, right?
It definitely did, because you got forwards trying to be point guards and playmakers. So the Warriors did an amazing job with pressuring the basketball. GP2 pressuring the ball, 94 feet. Andrew Wiggins getting inside. And Draymond Green getting inside, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those guys making things hard for them, playing in the crowd, showing them multiple bodies. Every time they turned their back, it was a Golden State Warrior showing their body and showing an extra hand and length.
And this is a copycat league, right? So everyone wants to play like the Warriors. But I think you see tonight, not everyone has a point forward like Draymond Green to get them into offense, to settle things down, to get the ball to the right players, to have Steph and Clay able not to play off the dribble all the time. And everyone wants to shoot threes. But not every team in the league has Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And the one thing that these players do, these championship players, Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they are great decision makers. And they can understand what's happening in the moment. They can make adjustments on the fly. That's something the Celtics are going to have to grow into. This will be a good experience for them moving forward, but that was really exposed. The championship experience and pedigree of the Warriors, but to me, the incredible talent, perseverance, preparation of Steph, Clay, and Draymond to have those two really tough seasons, injury-riddled. And Bonte, you mentioned, we talked about it towards the end of the season. At 20 games left, Draymond has nerve damage in his back. He's got to take off. Steph misses the last 12 games of the season. Clay's still working way back into form. They've got new players on this roster. So to me, this has to be one of the most gratifying. I mean, they appreciate and love all the championships. But to me, coming off those two incredibly tough seasons, all the injuries this year, it's got to be. I think that's why Steph was so emotional after the game. They're much different than 2015, and just well-deserved across the board. Just a joy to watch.
Look at this, Willie, the winningest trio in NBA Finals history. They've got now 21 Finals wins. Duncan, Ginobili, Parker with 19. They won 4 championships together down in San Antonio. You got Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish with 16 wins. Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and James Worthy with 15.
And this is not debatable.
No.
This is on the screen. Numbers are there. Last 50 seasons. The most successful trio of all time in the NBA. That's incredible.
Incredible. Now, somewhere Bill Russell, Sam Jones, and Bob Cousy are saying, what about us? We won 11 championships. We said the last 50 years, folks. Last 50 years, and Steph Curry finally puts to bed a dumb debate that's been talked about ad nauseum over the last 5 seasons. Heck, the last 8 seasons. He doesn't have a Finals MVP. Well, guess what? He has one now after averaging 31 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's the first player in NBA history to average 35 and 5 and 5 threes. He had 4 straight games where he hit 5 made threes, have at least 5 made threes in 4 straight games. And of course, tonight he hit over 5 threes as well.
And those incredible numbers, as you stated, Bonte, coming into this series against the #1 defense in the league, shredded, just took it apart. In all areas. I thought for a while there, Steve Kerr opted to go to the dribble pick and rolls with Steph. He had 43, and then he has a subpar game back in San Francisco. Now, an incredible NBA Finals MVP performance. This is one of the greatest NBA performances of all time.
Man, 6 threes tonight for Stephen Curry, 6 of 11 from the floor. D-Wright for the 3-point line, and he let the game come to him tonight. Really, the Warriors got out to a hot start due to Jordan Poole. He came in the game, hit 3 threes, and then Curry just waited and waited and waited. He went off in the second quarter, went off in the third quarter as well to keep the Warriors afloat. What a performance from number 30. They can't say anything about the guy now. 4 championships, 2 MVPs, a Finals MVP, All-Star Game MVP. What else they gonna say, D-Wright?
Can't say nothing. You're a hater if you got anything to say, but beautiful performance from Steph Curry coming off an 0-for-9 game. We talked about this pregame. When he has a tough shooting night, that next game he always bounces back, and he showed tonight that he is the greatest shooter of all time and one of the greatest players to play the game all time as well.
And we talked pregame about the mindset of the Warriors coming in, and I was like, you need to follow Steph Curry because he's going to be calm. He's going to be patient. So as you stated, Bonte, he let the game come to him. When your best player does that, that relaxes everybody on the floor. Steph's calm. He's not hunting shots. He's letting the game flow. You know, they get down, was it 14-2?
Right.
Everyone's calm and poised. And that's that championship experience, unwavering confidence, and just a trust in your teammates that you're going to make it happen. You're going to get this championship. And like I said, I mean, this team has been a joy to watch this year. It's been a joy to cover. And Steph Curry sets that tone.
Yes.
Not only in these big games, each and every day in practice, his habits, his dedication to his craft. I mean, there's not enough you can say about the guy.
No doubt. The Warriors' 21-0 run there in that first half was the largest run in the NBA Finals in the last 50 years. The second largest run happened in 2019 in Game 2 versus the Toronto Raptors, in which the Warriors won. So they've got all kind of record books here in the NBA Finals, including Draymond Green. Let's check out Draymond Green's game tonight because he really hasn't had that game. Now, he started to get back to being Draymond in game number 5, and he admitted, as we check out this graphic here, bleed green, he is Sparty, but he was a Golden State Warrior tonight playing hard. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 block shots. He did have the 5 turnovers, but he slowed down in the second half, D-Right. This was a vintage Draymond Green night. 5 of 10 from the floor, and you knew when he hit that 3 early in the game that he had it going, that he was locked in tonight here at TD Garden.
Yeah, you could tell Draymond Green was feeling good. He understood it was a closeout game. He's been here numerous of times, so he came out aggressive, looking for a shot, taking those threes with confidence, and then his playmaking ability, pushing the pace up, not walking the ball up. He was sprinting the ball up the court. Some of those plays he was moving a little too fast, but he slowed down. He found his shooters, and whenever they gave him an opportunity to score, he took those shots with confidence as well.
Once again, experience, confidence, understanding, awareness, and Draymond had some tough games. So to come up in Game 6 on the road where no one's won a finals championship here since 1985,
outside of
for him to
Lakers.
come up and have a vintage Draymond Green game, I think really puts this whole season into context where just perseverance and not letting the last game, the last play affect your mindset or affect anything about how you approach the game. When Draymond struggles, right, offensively, he always does something on the floor to impact the game. He's aggressive defensively. He's distributing the basketball. But when he puts it all together, and we've always said this puts the Warriors at a whole different level. And he did it tonight in the biggest game of the year. And now he's got his 4th ring.
20-1 the Warriors are when Draymond Green hits at least 1 3-pointer this season. Think about that. They're 20-1 when he hits at least 1 3 this season. Hey, Day-Day, we need 6 attempts a game next season, baby. Let's go as you check out this graphic on NBC Sports Authentic and Boston Tea Party. No doubt about that, but it won't be tea they're sipping tonight. It's that fresh Moet that's on ice right now. You see Klay Thompson with a bowl of clam chowder. That's not bad there. Not bad. Get some clam chowder in. Get
Captain
some
Klay
rolls.
looks like he needs to go help Marcus Smart a little bit.
Dude, Marcus Smart was rough tonight.
Yes.
And you talk about the lack of a point guard for the Boston Celtics. We can talk about that all season long, but this is about the Golden State Warriors. Winning their 4th championship in 8 years. And just to think about it, D, right, when we started covering the team last season, it was our first year here at NBC Sports Bay Area, and they got blown out in the first 2 games. It wasn't even close in Brooklyn and Milwaukee. Heck, Bob Myers told me on the morning roast that, you know what, I thought it was going to be a long season. But you started to see the progression there towards the tail end of last season. And I feel like this year has been a carryover from last year when they won 6 straight to end the regular season, and then they lost the 2 playing games in riveting fashion.
Yeah, but you could think about Steph Curry and how he approached the game. You could think about what Jordan Poole did for his game, going to the G League, coming back. JTA, all these guys, James Wiseman, all these guys were basically getting ready and prepared for this season. They went out there and played with confidence. So once they got into this season, they already had those games under their belt. Steph Curry put on a performance every single night last year. You get Draymond Green, you get Klay Thompson, all these guys back. And this is the reason why, they're champions today. They didn't give up. They knew it was going to be an opportunity to win another championship if they were 100%, and they got healthy and they won another one.
Yeah, to me, what makes this so special were the 2 lost seasons due to injury. They had that 15-win season last year with Steph's injury and all these players out. To be able to, during that time, function as a championship team. Don't let your daily habits be influenced by the circumstances around you. So it's so important for those young guys to see Klay Thompson as he's working through his injuries, his dedication, all behind the scenes. Steph Curry, he had his broken wrist. This year, he missed the last 12 games of the season, of the regular season.
Sprained ligament
But
in his
he's
foot.
each and every day in there doing everything possible to get healthy, to get back to compete for a championship. So Steve Kerr said, if your culture cannot sustain adversity, you don't have culture.
Yes.
And that's set by Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. And I think that's what's got them to these 4 championship rings, was this persistence of daily habits, of dedication, the passion. You know, these players play with great joy.
And look at this NBA dynasty since 1977. Of course, the Lakers three-peated there with Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. The Spurs with 4 championships in 8 seasons. You see the Bulls there with 6 in the 90s. They went 6-0. The Lakers with 5 in the 80s. The Celtics with 3 championships in the 80s. Of course, the Bad Boys Pistons only finished with 2 championships the tail end of the 80s, early 90s. But the Warriors with 4 titles since 2015. So they are officially a dynasty. And Millie, you talk about all the good habits or whatnot. They start off 18-2. Well, what about this tone set by the leader, by the Bill Russell MVP, Stephen Curry? He decided, you know what, I know I'm ready to go, but I'll come off the bench for the first 4 games in the first round. And he said a quote that resonated with Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, where he said, it doesn't matter if we come off the bench or not. It's about the team. It's about the sacrifice for the team to win a championship. That is the goal, not the individual accolades. It is to win the championship as a team. And I thought that set the tone for this postseason.
Most definitely. When you got your leader, your franchise player, sacrificing his minutes, you know, his streaks of being a starter, all these things that most players care about, he showed Jordan Poole, he showed all the young players, and even players around the world, hey, I am Steph Curry, but I'm going to sacrifice for my team because this guy is playing well. I'm going to come off this bench and still make an impact in the game, and that's kudos to him. And that's the reason why this franchise has been where it has been these last few years, because of a guy like Steph Curry leading the way.
Yeah, I think Steve Curry says it best. And Bob McKillop was on with us after Game 5. The perfect balance of humility and confidence. And Steph Curry off the court is very humble. He's a giving person. He's a perfect teammate. He's welcomed over his 13-year career so many different teammates. He includes them. He empowers them, both on and off the court. So ultimately, when your best player is your hardest worker and your most unselfish person, everything falls in place after that. And you said about that, yeah, he said he'd come off the bench. He backed it up with action, and that sets a tone throughout the entire locker room. I'll tell you what, it makes Steve Kerr's job a lot easier.
No doubt about that. Let's send it to San Francisco, live at the Gay House Zenicada. Carlos Ramirez via WebEx by Cisco.
Guys,
what is the Bible? I can't even hear him now. I hear how loud it is right now.
We got the champagne
Look at
pops.
that.
Okay.
Look at that.
We got fireworks going. We got the
San
gear
Francisco's
on. Okay.
popping, guys.
We're waiting for you to get back to Boston so we can keep popping bottles.
Wait,
Okay.
I'm going to do something right here. These fans have been waiting years to do this, to party
Let's
with
go.
the
Give them
Warriors.
what they want, Carlos. Give them what they want. They've been looking to pop champagne for a minute, okay? Let's go. Guys, it is freezing cold out here. These fans do not care. There were 15,900 fans inside the arena and another couple hundred outside the arena, all watching this game go down. It was deafening cheers. It was so much energy in and outside the building. The Bay Area is on and ready for this parade and welcoming their new MVP and their champions back to the Bay.
First of all, the gear is ready. People can get their gear. We got the hat. We got the shirt. I got it drenched in champagne.
Load up.
There's going to be a parade here.
Yes, I cannot
in
wait.
a couple days.
I cannot wait.
The environment inside Chase Center today was this. The people.
These people
You've
have
already
been
said
waiting.
it. It's the Bay Area
We're
versus the
getting
world.
another one of these, okay? Another ring is coming to the Bay. And these are the most deserving fans. They have been there when these players were going through their injuries, were going through their ups and downs. We're going through the doubters, the haters, the people that thought this was a checkbook win. Okay? We are really seeing the dedication from our fans here, and we're so happy that they're getting a championship back in the
Couple
Bay.
things. Andrew Wiggins was not a throw-in on the trade. He was a trade. Number one. Number 2, get ready, because the coverage we're going to give you of the parade, of the Golden State Warriors championship parade, will be legendary. You can't miss it. It's going to be insane, and we can't wait for you guys to be here with us.
Yes.
Safe flight from Boston. We're going to party here.
We'll be partying all
night
night
long, baby.
All night. It's an early weekend. We're going right
Let's
into
go.
it.
Let's go.
Bye, y'all.
Back to you. Let's go party.
Let's go.
We're going party.
I don't think Carlos Azita is going to make it till Monday. I don't think they're making it to the parade on Monday. It's a party out there at Thrive City, and now it's not all about 18 for the Boston Celtics. Shout out to our graphics department here at NBCS Authentic. And yes, the Celtics, they're not getting number 18. They're still tied with the Lakers for 17 world championships. That is the most in NBA history. But they were really feeling themselves this series, and a lot of people thought the Celtics could give the Warriors trouble. I thought they could too. We thought this would be a long series. It was. It went 6 games, but we saw the inexperience. It didn't show itself early in this series. It showed itself in the fourth quarter of Game 4, Game 5, and in Game 6, and that's where we saw, oh, okay, NBA experience, NBA Finals experience does matter.
Yeah, it definitely showed. Just the ball security is the thing that stuck out the most.
Wow.
The ISO ball. You got ball movement, player movement with the Warriors, extra pass, not looking for good shots, but great shots. And the Boston Celtics just couldn't do anything with them. The Golden State Warriors found ways to stop them and slow Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown down all series long.
Yeah, I think the Warriors obviously had the advantage experience-wise, but I think also their versatility, their ability to play with ball screens with Steph, the ability to put the ball in Draymond Green's hand as a point forward and have Steph and Clay run off the basketball. Of course, the turnovers put them out in transition where they're dynamic. But Steve Kerr, his ability to change the lineup, and no matter who he puts out there, they understand their roles. They're able to execute both offensively and defensively. And over a course of a series, when you're making adjustments, the Warriors were able to dictate what those adjustments were. The Celtics basically played the same way each and every night. Yeah, they may have, on paper, looked like they had advantages physically and athletically. But this game, this day and age, is more than ever about skill, execution, shot making, and then being very disciplined and sticking to the game plan defensively. That's Warriors basketball. And you know, we had that graphic up early about the dynasties.
Right.
San Antonio, Lakers, Boston. The other thing this team has dealt with, this is for a decade now.
Right.
Guys my age, not me because I'm all about small ball, questioning, can a team win by shooting threes?
Right.
Being somewhat of a perimeter-based offensive team. So when I looked at that graphic, that they stand alone.
Right.
In that era. They started that era, and they defined that era, and now they have 4 rings. By really, Steph Curry changed the game, but I think the Warriors in general have really taken the NBA to a whole different stratosphere now, strategically, what GMs are going to be looking for in players. It's not having 2 guards, a power forward, and a center now.
Right.
It's really trying to figure out how to match up with the Warriors.
Wow.
And if you don't have that ability, don't try it, because it's a unique style, and you have to have unique players, interchangeable parts. So to me, the way Steve Kerr has, put that strategy in place, and the great job by Bob Myers and his staff drafting, making the right trades, bringing the right free agents in, has been amazing to watch. And we've all benefited by being able to watch this beautiful basketball, the way they handle themselves on and off the court. It's a dynasty, but I think to me in the Bay Area, much more than that, because how friendly and giving and how much a part of the community they've been for 10 years now.
No doubt. And think about mid-season when the trade deadline was coming around, everybody was begging for Bob Myers and company to trade for a big. They need a big. Well, they basically played with one big this season, and that was Kevon Looney. And he played every single game, every single night, whether he was starting, coming off the bench. And Draymond Green obviously is a small ball 5, but they really won this championship, D, right, playing small.
Yes, they definitely did. And Kevon Looney, just like Jordan Poole, had a bunch of different roles in the starting lineup, out of the starting lineup, back and forth. But, ultimate pro, didn't complain, went out there, put his hard hat on every single day, was available every single game, and put it all on the line, setting those screen assists, defending the rim, and just being that big in the small ball lineup. So you got to give a lot of credit to Kevon Looney, especially for the career he's had with the injuries, for him to bounce back and be available, and a guy that we all know Steve Kerr trusts in any situation. So amazing season for Kevon Looney as well.
I mean, you think back, we were covering the draft.
Right.
When they got the news that Klay tore his Achilles. Mm-hmm. Calm, no knee-jerk reaction. Didn't go draft two guard or a small forward to replace Klay Thompson. Stuck to the game plan. Had trust and confidence. I think the collaboration, the communication with Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, Joe Lacob, and into Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Now you sit down, you take input from them, but you don't always do what they want or say. So Steph Curry, I think that, there was a point in time when everyone thought they should go get a veteran to make that run. But once they didn't, it was put my head down, go to work, and make this thing work. Get these young players adjusted. Get Jordan Poole to be an impactful player. So that again is the culture of the Warriors and the reason they've become a dynasty.
Well, think about one of the biggest moves all season. It happened before the regular season when Steph and Draymond, it was on record basically saying they wanted Avery Bradley, a veteran who played with the Boston Celtics. Bob Myers and company cut GP2, Gary Payton II, said, you know what, we're going to bring this young man back. Or would the Warriors be without Gary Payton II? He was impactful in this series and all season long, coming back from that fractured elbow here in the NBA Finals. We saw him pick in the pocket of Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown over and over again. Gary Payton II, another nice move by this front office. A cheap, low-risk, high-reward move, and he paid dividends as it's time to check out our Adkin turning point of the game. And that was in the first quarter, going into the second quarter. The Warriors in that first quarter on a big-time run, an 11-0 run. To end the first quarter, it was 3 straight threes they had, and they were down 22-16, and they just exploded to go on a 21-0 run, and there's GP2 getting in the mix.
And we talked all night. We were all sitting together, Bonte and Darrell. Yes, the shot-making hit. Draymond knocks down the corner three. Jordan Poole banked in a three. That hustle play by GP. This is a beautiful handoff. GP, great awareness. But the 50-50 balls tonight all went the Warriors' way. They were more aware, quicker to the basketball. Here's a nice banker from the top. At that point in time, the game was over, believe it or not.
Most definitely. But you got to give a lot of credit to GP too, man. He sets the tone when he comes in that game, getting those 50-50 balls. Another big-time three right there from Jordan Poole, right when the Warriors needed one.
And winning breeds winning, right? Yep. So we talk about this culture and how Steph Curry, Draymond, and Klay have affected so many careers. Mike Brown, head coach of Sacramento. Right. Kenny Atkinson, head coach of Charlotte. GP2, stock way up.
Yes.
Looney.
Jordan Poole, as you would say, the bag.
The bag is coming.
The big duffel.
Big bag.
Major bag alert, Bully. Major bag alert.
It's not going to be it's not a carry-on bag either.
No,
He's checking a few bags. and we talked about the front office. Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga for D'Angelo Russell.
Wow.
So now that gets you your fourth championship, and in my mind, leaves this championship window open for another 3 or 4 years.
That's what I'm saying, Bully. They may just be getting started on another run here.
They are started already on another run. They are. And the great thing is this. The veterans have already nurtured and mentored these young players where they're chomping at the bit.
No doubt.
They're almost over ready,
right?
But they're like, not yet.
Yeah.
We still got this. But when they get let out, boy, between Jonathan, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman.
Yes.
Look
out, league. See, a lot of people going to get fired messing with the Golden State Warriors in the future.
No,
including the Minnesota GM. Whoever made that trade, he's now sitting back thinking, what the heck did I do here? But
well, they might get fired, but I know one thing. They're going to get beat. They're getting beat down because now they got experience. They've got skill, and they got youth and athleticism.
And they have number 30, Bully. They have number 30, Steph Curry, who took home the NBA Finals MVP award, the Bill Russell Award for the first time in his career. He let the game come to him, but then he ends up with 34 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. Just a clinic. He was going to the rack, and I can't believe, D, right, that Ime Udoka really did blitz Steph Curry all series long. I'm saying to you, we were talking on the way to the media shuttle, on the way to TD Garden. I'm saying, D. Wright, I got to do everything I can to make sure Steph Curry doesn't beat me. But Ime Udoka and the Celtics was stubborn, and Curry made them pay.
He made them pay. He did it from everywhere. 3-level scorer. We all know Steph Curry can kill you with the three-pointer, but he was taking the ball to the basket, utilizing his mid-range, his pump fakes. And, you know, when you use your pump fake, everybody's going to go when you can shoot the ball at the level of Steph Curry. So he did whatever he wanted tonight. Got guys involved, got in there and rebound, something that was emphasized the start of the playoffs since they were so small. But Steph Curry, man, finally got his finals MVP, and it was well-deserved.
Ring him, Mully, ring him.
No doubt. 4 rings. But you're watching these plays, when they overextend at the three-point line, he gets to the rim and finishes. He knocks down threes off the dribble. He knocks down the catch-and-shoot three.
Look at this club right here, Bully. 2 MVPs and 4 NBA titles. He's in the club with LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell. Those other 6 guys are all considered top 10 players in the history of the league. And now Steph Curry joins that club.
Of course he does. When it's all said and done, that's what he is.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's already there. He's going to add to that. So whatever you were saying, they and these guys with all these question marks, just put those graphics up. This is not debatable.
No, it's not.
This is the show that continues. It's a joy to watch. But to me, his feel for the game is just amazing. You can really see the difference between Steph and Clay because their incredible ability to play on and off the basketball, not over dribble, give it up, get it back, to where these young Celtic players, I feel like they go straight line drive and the play's over.
Right.
You see so many times Steph, if he doesn't like what he sees, gives it up, comes off a screen, head fake, dribble in, give it back up. So just his instincts for the game of basketball are amazing. Of course, we all know about his shot making. But as he's doing that, as he's incorporating his teammates, he just gives them confidence.
Yeah.
And they can, support him in the biggest moments.
He's not slowing down at all. 34 years old. He's still in his prime. And that's what's scary for the league. They're saying, oh, wait, Steph Curry's still playing at a high level. Clay's back. Draymond's dropping triple-doubles. Andrew Wiggins is now all of a sudden playing like the #1 overall pick that he was 8 years ago. And they have a young core in the stable, as you mentioned, Billy, with Wiseman, Poole, Kuminga, and Moses Moody. It's not going to stop here. Now, Andrew Wiggins, look, a lot of people question him being an all-star starter this season, right? Oh, he's the worst all-star starter in the league history. Well, he proved on this final stage, Bully, and D. Wright, that he's a baller. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and he completely erased Jason Tatum out of these finals, D. Wright.
Man, he was an X factor all postseason long. Andrew Wiggins did an amazing job on whatever best player on every team. He took them out of the game. He made it hard on them. Not only Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, all the guys that they had to see this postseason, man. So a lot of respect for Wiggs. A lot of people have to delete a lot of those tweets about Andrew Wiggins because he showed the whole world why he was the #1 pick and that he could still play at a high level.
There were some great players in this series. Andrew Wiggins was the second best player in this series. He was the best athlete in this series by far, I think.
Look at this, Willie. Warriors with 100 points and 50-plus rebounds in an NBA Finals series. Andrew Wiggins, Rick Barry, and Wilt Chamberlain.
That's 2 of the greatest players of all time, 2 of the greatest Warriors of all time. That's what Andrew Wiggins has done. And I think, to me, the 2 biggest games of his life were Game 4 here, when he had 17 points and 16 rebounds. Warriors down 2-1, playing on the TD Waterhouse Garden floor, came up big. And then Game 5, where Steph struggles a bit offensively, comes up with a huge game. And then tonight, all series long.
26-13 in Game 5.
All series long just made Jason Tatum, Jason Tatum, some people call him a superstar, some people call him a star. Andrew Wiggins made Jason Tatum look like a marginal player all series long.
No doubt. And how about the 6 double-doubles for Andrew Wiggins this postseason? A lot of people, D. Wright, said he needs to crash the glass. He's got to rebound more. Well, he stepped up to the challenge and averaged damn near 9 rebounds for the entire postseason.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that Coach Kerr emphasized rebounding the whole playoffs. I think that was the one thing going into the playoffs they were lacking just because of the size and playing so much small ball. So Andrew Wiggins did an amazing job coming back, getting tough rebounds. That's part of defending as as well and getting 50-50 balls. And Andrew Wiggins came up big every night.
And we see Del Curry with the cigar, hugging Steph. Look at Joe Lacob. He's got the hat on. Peter Guber's in the house. How about Klay Thompson there with the hat on? This guy played in 32 regular season games, was thrust into high-leverage situations this postseason, and he showed up. Now the Warriors are champions for the 4th time in the last 8 years. And we didn't even touch on Steve Kerr, the masterful job he did this season. Look, I was on the radio show today, Willie, I was thinking to myself, well, the Warriors win 53 games. We talked about Draymond missing 36. Curry missed 18. You have to add Klay Thompson to the mix. You have to have a tough conversation with Jordan Poole saying, hey, we need you to come off the bench and be our 6th man. You have one big with Kevon Looney. You don't have Wiseman all season long, yet they win 53 games. And I heard nobody talk about Steve Kerr being Coach of the Year. This is probably his finest performance as head coach of the Golden State Warriors.
I think with no question, with all those things you just said, and again, setting the tone of being calm, being poised, playing unselfish, playing for each other. And when adversity hits, that's when you really step up. And I thought Steve Kerr did a masterful job. I think it was his best coaching job. Of all the things you just said, different roles for different players. But you can do that when the players trust you, when they know you care about them, not just as basketball players, as people. And Steve Kerr is great at that. He's sincere, he's genuine, he cares about what's going on in the world, and he shares it publicly.
Look at this, D. Wright. He's knocking on the door of 10 championships. Most championships as a player coach. Phil Jackson leading the way with 13. Bill Russell with 11. Sam Jones, Tommy Heinsohn, KC Jones, a USF legend. It is Steve Kerr just tied Red Auerbach in Red Auerbach's house.
Man.
On his floor.
That's
He's
a big
title.
Yeah, Steve Kerr, one of the best out there when it comes to coaching, managing games, making adjustments. And the one thing I love about Steve Kerr is he's a player coach. Me playing in the league for a long time, you want to play for guys that played the game at a high level. They understand what you're going through throughout a season, how you're feeling, how your body's feeling, when you need a day off. They know how to communicate those things. And I think Steve Kerr is one of the best at communicating with his players, letting guys know when you're in a rotation, when you're not in a rotation. So that's what builds trust from coaches. Then throwing guys in there throughout the season, starting guys and just giving guys minutes, that gives your guys 1 through 15 all the confidence in the world. And I think Steve Kerr is one of the best in the league at doing that.
And you look at that list, that's all Celtics.
Right.
And then Phil Jackson, obviously, who Steve played for. And what Darrell just said, I think it's so true. Steve as a player was a role player.
Yep.
He played with great players like Steph Curry. He played with Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan. He understands how there was times when he didn't play. And then Phil Jackson would peel him off the bench, and he'd have to hit a big shot when Michael Jordan was double-teamed. So understanding the mentality of not just the superstars, but also the players at the end of the bench, to have them included in the team at all times, so when he does call on them, they feel needed and wanted. So that's a big part of coaching. And when you go through a long season, like they have, 6 of the last 8 years, playing deep into June, it's so important to keep everybody engaged.
Right.
I think it's an underrated part of the NBA, moving from game to game,
right,
moving from shoot around to the game. All those things, especially nowadays with social media, so many things can pop up unexpectedly. And Steve Kerr's a master at really keeping his cool demeanor, gathering all the information, and then making the proper decisions at the proper time. It's a unique skill set that he has, and that's why he's up on that list with all those great coaches.
And Draymond Green, he picks up ring number 4, the former Defensive Player of the Year. He made all defensive second team this season. And look, make no mistake about it, he had a rough first 4 games of this series. He started to turn it up in Game 5. Actually, he made some big plays in Game 4 in the fourth quarter, the last 3 minutes. But tonight was vintage Draymond Green. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 block shots. The only knock was some of the turnovers in the first half, but he was just amped up. He was ready to go. He smelled the Moet, D, right? He smelled it. He smelled the championship, and he played his best basketball of the series in tonight's game here at TD Garden.
Yeah, he came up big when his team needed him, and Draymond Green expressed his feelings about how he'd been playing poorly, how he didn't play at the standard of Draymond Green, and he went out there and he answered for his team and all the critics out there that has negative stuff to say about Draymond Green, he's the safety, he's the anchor of this defense. So he made it tough on guys as well, just being in the right place, kind of playing that rover position. Whenever guys getting beat, just stepping up, and then his playmaking ability, man. We all know he's one of the best passers in this league and one of the best playmakers in this league at the point forward spot.
I mean, look at his stats there. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 of 10 from the field.
Yep.
He made 2 threes. That's a great performance in any game. To me, though, more impressive, he came in struggling. And he did everything tonight you would want a champion to do. Knocking down the open three, reading the defense, playing incredible defense, getting steals. So tonight, the fact that he bounced back from struggling early in the series just shows what a champion, how tough mentally he is, and how important he is for the Warriors.
No doubt about that. And Klay Thompson, he's important as well. He came back this season, January 9th, against the Cleveland Cavaliers after missing 941 days of basketball. And he had some big-time performances in this postseason, and he had a hell of a finals. Look, he struggled the first 2 nights, the first 2 games of the series, and tonight it wasn't his best night shooting. He got out to a hot start. He was 5 of 20, 12 points, but I don't think he scored a basket after halftime. Klay Thompson really got ice cold there. He was 0 for 5 in the third quarter, but you know what? He's a champion, and he'll trade in that stat line for a championship all day long.
You know he will, man. A tough 2 years. One of the best comeback stories all around for Klay Thompson to go through 2 major injuries and be crowned a champion 2 years later. His presence on the court is more than enough. Just his ability to knock down shots, his ability to move his feet and defend at a high level, that bothered the Boston Celtics, and just him being out there was a threat.
Did he score all his points in the first half?
I think he scored them all in the first half.
Okay, because the game was over at halftime. So that's all that matters. We didn't need games this play because the game was over at halftime. So incredible perseverance, mental toughness to miss those 2 years. Couldn't be happy for Klay Thompson.
Played 41 minutes tonight, led the Warriors in minutes played this postseason, coming off those 2 gruesome leg injuries. And the Golden State Warriors are champions once again. They won 15 games 2 years ago. Last year, they didn't even make it into the tournament. They lost in the play-in game at home to Memphis, but now they're back on the NBA mountaintop, and they have won their 4th board. Let's go inside to Grant Liffman and Festus Ezeli. Fellas, what is the vibe inside of TD Garden right now? What is happening?
Oh, man, the vibe check, Festus. I mean, well, we have a giant man behind us, Zaza Pachulia, who said he's most happy for Steph Curry. He says proves all the doubters wrong, and the fact that there are still doubters still boggles his mind. Festus, what's your vibe check right now?
Okay, so I gotta give you all everything I'm going through as I'm watching this game. I'm sitting in the media box like I told you guys last game, and I can't react to the games because I'm part of the media and I have to be unbiased. Guys, I am losing my stuff. 10 years ago, I got to the Warriors organization. I was drafted here with Draymond Green. I was a part of the start of this whole journey. And to watch them after all this time and knowing what they went through, knowing that Klay went through what he went through, knowing that Draymond has been receiving scrutiny, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and of course, the guy, Stephen Curry.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
And you saw the emotion, too, come out of him. Like,
think about the disrespect.
Yeah.
The disrespect all year long. Like, even after game 1, Eddie House and Kendrick Perkins came on and they were doing, hey, guys, listen, we just won a championship. I'm happy you won game 1. We just won a championship. That's what, and you know what? Let me take the high road. All right, no.
Okay.
We just won. But this is what I'm talking about when I talk about that disrespect. They say, well, the first unanimous MVP ever in the history of the NBA is still not a guy that they respect. What do you have to do? What can you say now to Stephen Curry? Great game by him, great game by the team. Everybody played well. This is one of those games where Draymond looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Jordan Poole came in the game, made a great impact. Gary Payton, that guy makes such a... I still don't understand how he doesn't have a role, how he didn't have a constant role in the NBA team till now. But, man, I hope that this team and the light that is shed on all the players around, these guys can continue to have a great career after this, because this is an amazing, amazing moment that they all need to celebrate.
Well, I mean, you said it all right there. That's all we need to know. In just a second, we're going to hear from Zaza Pachulia. But first, let's go in to hear from Steve Kerr.
Separates this championship from the others you've won with this franchise? I'll answer that in a second, but first I want to say congrats to the Celtics on a great series. They were incredible. Their defensive athleticism and length and toughness was really tough to overcome. And they had us on the ropes in this series and had a tremendous season. Since I've been here, we've lost in the finals twice, and it's devastating, to get this far and to come up short. And I got a lot of friends across that hall, between Ime and Will Hardy, Damon Stoudemire, Aaron Miles, a bunch of really good friends and guys I've coached in FIBA, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, great group of guys. And so I genuinely feel for them because I know what it's like to lose at this point. But they had an amazing run, and it's a great series. I forget your question now, CJ. Well, they're all unique. They're all special. I think this one may have been the most unlikely, just from the standpoint of where we've been the last couple of years. A lot of unknowns with injuries to Clay, and Draymond at the end of the year, Steph at the end of the year. A lot of young guys, kind of a new core, or a new group around our core, I should say. But it's really special to see guys like Wiggs and Loon and Gary Payton, just how far they've come, the impact they made. Jordan Poole, same thing. And I know I'm going to forget people, but it takes a full team effort to do this. And we just had a great group who got it done.
We'll go next to Dan on the right.
Hey, Steve, Dan Winke, Los Angeles Times, congratulations. You've been around greatness a ton in your career. What do you make of Steph? And does he still kind of put you into awe the way maybe he did the first year you were with him? He
does, because what he does at his size is so different from, the traditional greats in this league. I've said it many times, Steph reminds me so much of Tim Duncan. Obviously totally different players, but from just a humanity standpoint, from a talent standpoint, humility, confidence. It's this wonderful combination that just, makes everybody want to win for him. And I'm obviously thrilled for everyone in that room. And a lot of people had a big hand in this, but I think the thing with Steph is, without him, none of this happens, and that's not taking anything away from Joe and Peter's ownership, because they're amazing owners, built an incredible organization. Bob Myers, a hell of a GM, and, our players, we've had so many great players, but Steph ultimately is, why this run has happened, much like Timmy in San Antonio. And so I'm happy for everybody, but I'm thrilled for Steph. To me, this is his crowning achievement in what's already been an incredible career.
Howard on the left.
Howard Beck from Sports Illustrated. Congrats, Steve. On the broadcast, Jeff Van Gundy said this, and I think he meant this as a compliment, but this was the least talented group that you guys have won a championship with. And again, I think he meant that as partially a compliment to you and your staff. It was different for that reason. How do you think you guys managed to reach this height again with, if you agree with that premise, a less talented group? And as you said, against obviously a very tough defense in Boston, kind of what shone through with all that?
Well, I think that comment is all relative, right? I mean, we had Kevin Durant for 3 years with this core group. Those teams were untouchable. This team has been compared to our first championship team in 15. Maybe there are some similarities, but this is still a really talented group of players. So, not taking anything away from Jeff's comment, but I think he's speaking relatively. Our defense was spectacular in this series, especially the last 3 games. And the Celtics had the best defense in the league, but we were right behind them. And I think what made this group really special was, besides the obvious with Steph, was the defensive intensity and versatility. And for that, Draymond is the guy to point to, the leader of it all. But the additions of Wiggs, Gary Payton, the return of Clay, the emergence of Loon, it all factored in. And I've been really lucky to be part of a lot of these in my career. And I have yet to see a team that wasn't elite defensively win a championship. So to me, that's what got this team over the hump, is in the playoffs, was our defense.
Mark, back right.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Landscape. Steve, Clay was not in any rush to leave the stage, and he seemed to really relish in this moment. Can you talk about that, and also everything that he overcame to become a champion again?
Yeah, I mean, the anguish that Clay has felt over the last 3 years. I don't know that. I mean, people can guess as to what it is like, but we saw it up close. And between a second year-long injury and losing what he loves to do most in life, playing the game, it's been a rough go for him. So his return was special for us on and off the floor because of what he's meant to the organization, what he's done for this team. And then, of course, his play. I mean, his two-way ability is up at the top of the league. So I'm thrilled for Clay.
Last question.
That was Steve Kerr, of course, and what else can you say about this guy? That's a 4-time champ as a coach. He's got 9 total. He's been honored as one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. But add this title to one of the more impressive ones he's put together, because I think, as much credit as he's going to give the players, and they all deserve it, this could have been Steve Kerr's just most impressive performance as a coach, just the buildup from the last couple of years till now. I feel like it's a whole 3-year project more than just this year. Festus.
Where do I even start when I talk about Steve Kerr and what he's done with this team? I remember years ago when he first got this job, and people would call me all the time talking about this new coach we just got, how great of a guy he was. And it kept happening over and over. And I'm like, did he pay people to just come tell us how good of a guy he is so he has an easy foot in the door? Steve Kerr was on my podcast a couple of years ago. This is in the middle of the pandemic. The team was struggling at the time. And so I asked him, what is it about your story? Why are you somebody why are you the person you are? Because I think he's an incredible human. He came into the practice the first day after he was hired, he had 4 values. He said we're going to play with compassion, we're going to play with mindfulness, we're going to play with joy, and the 4th thing was competitiveness. And we're like, we're a basketball team. He said if you take care of the first 3, the last one will take care of itself. And the proof is in the pudding. His story has been incredible to be here. The lineup changes he has made in the finals, the things he has had to adjust to. Chris Mullin said this before everything started. For the first game of the playoffs, he has Steph Curry, his star player, out, coming back for the first game. That was the first time he had everybody together. The adjustments he has had to make, the lineup changes, just trying to adjust the minutes, restrictions, and everything that he's had to do to get to this point. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I don't get one, Kirk? Kirk.
It's Festus.
Oh, man.
Kirk Lakers, ladies and gentlemen.
On the court at the Garden. All right, that's what you're supposed to do in Boston.
Tell me about the good job that Steve Kerr has done so far.
Good job? Festus. It's an unbelievable job. Come on. Don't sell the guy short.
Wow.
Come on.
This guy was made for TV.
Coaching
Look at
staff
this.
was incredible. Players were incredible. The media broadcasting crew.
Okay. All right.
We're a championship.
You guys are...
We're a championship crew. We're a
You're on your way
championship
up.
crew.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Kirk.
Thanks, guys.
Steve Kerr has done an amazing job. I have a Cohiba in my hands. I think that's what you call it, right? I've never done this before.
Sure, why not?
Are we allowed to do this on TV?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. But anyway, as you were saying,
back
Steve,
to what I was saying.
I loved how you said the 4 values, because really it's funny because all we hear usually is about the joy. And that is something that obviously he preaches so much. But it also just, you can tell all the values you mentioned permeate through the organization.
Think about how the guys play when they come to this team. You know, whatever story you want to tell about what Andrew Wiggins, who's over here, has been through before he came to this team, Gary Payton, Jordan Poole. The list goes on and on. Juan, Andre Iguodala coming back this season. The ability to integrate guys back into the system, the culture that they have created here with the Golden State Warriors starts with Steve Kerr, goes through Steph Curry, and it just came from his story and his journey, and he's just an incredible human being and an amazing coach.
Yeah, no, you hear the human being part, and that it's all starts with that, and
Yes.
the players love him as a human and respect him as a human, and also him being such a great guy, also he shows the respect to the players, right?
Yeah.
Each an individual and as a team, and you can just tell this team just loves Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr loves him back. And also, by the way, we're giving Steve Kerr a lot of credit, as we should, but the coaching staff he put together as well, the way he allows his coaching staff to do what they do and to have their own, their own power to be individuals and coach in their own way. He's empowered this team to do what they do, and this is a 4th title for them. But he can't win all those titles without a certain somebody, and that certain somebody is a Finals MVP now. That is Steph Curry, and he is sitting at the podium right now. Take a listen.
Steph, what does just this mean to you to finally be a Finals MVP after everything?
Forget that. We champs. Why are you starting with that question? We got 4 championships. God is great. The ability to be on the stage and play with amazing teammates against a great Boston Celtics team that, gave us everything to try to get to the finish line. This one hits different for sure. Just knowing what the last 3 years have meant, what it's been like from injuries to, changing of the guard and the rosters, Wiggs coming through, our young guys, carrying the belief that we could get back to the stage and win, even if it didn't make sense to anybody when we said it. All that stuff matters, and now we got 4 championships. Me, Dre, Clay, and Andre. Finally got that bad boy. It's special, man. Special. Just all the work that went into it, all the faith and belief, and everybody in that locker room that's, getting to spray champagne around the locker room. Everybody mattered in that process, so I'm just proud of everybody.
Kendra, back right.
Kendra Andrews, ESPN. Stefan, I think there was 2 seconds left on the clock. You sat down on the baseline, head in your hands. I'm assuming maybe you were feeling and thinking a lot of things you just explained, but what was going through your head in that moment in particular?
These last 2 months of the playoffs, these last 3 years, these last 48 hours, every bit of it has been a emotional roller coaster, on and off the floor, and you're carrying all of that on a daily basis to try to realize a dream and a goal like we did tonight. And you get goosebumps just thinking about, all those snapshots and episodes that we went through to get back here, individually, collectively. And that's why I say I think this championship hits different. That's why I have so many emotions and still will, just because of what it took to get back here. And the fact that when we started this season, a lot of conversations about who we were as a team and what we were capable of, and clearly remember some experts and talking heads putting up the big zero of how many championships we would have going forward because of everything that we went through. So we hear all of that, and you carry it all and try to maintain your purpose, not let it distract you, but you carry that weight. And to get here, it all comes out. So it's special.
Vince on the left.
Steph, Vince Goodwood, Yahoo Sports. Along those same lines, a couple seconds left, you hug your dad. You kind of just disappear off the floor. You
blacked
look like
out for a second.
You look like you were in tears. You hugged them. How comfortable are you with those, like you said, letting those emotions out in that way? Was it, I won't say overwhelming, but what was the emotions like?
It was definitely overwhelming. It was surreal just because you know how much you went through, to get back to the stage, and nobody, unless you've been on that floor, you just grind it day in, day out. I was kind of talking about, just me personally, my workouts from all season last year when we lost in the play-in tournament. It's been a year and 6 days that I started the process of getting ready for this season. And it all paid off. Didn't know how it was going to happen. Didn't know what the environment's going to be like. You imagine what the emotions are going to be like, but it hits different. So, out there on the floor, I mean, I didn't even know he was down there, to be honest with you. I saw him and I just lost it. And I knew the clock was kind of running out, but just wanted to take in the moment because it was that special.
All right, welcome back to Warriors live inside of TD Garden, where we're sitting by with a champ for the first time in his career, Andrew Wiggs.
Yeah, say it
Two-way
again.
Wiggs,
Say it
All-Star
again.
Wiggs,
The champ.
NBA champ.
That's right.
6 double-doubles this postseason. Had a hell of a game 4, hell of a game 5, 26-13, following up a 17-16 performance. The defense on Jason Tatum, the defense all postseason long. Congratulations, Andrew. How's it feel to be a champ?
Man, it feels amazing. I don't know what to say, how to feel. I mean, it's crazy. I'm just happy to be here and enjoy it with you guys, my family, my friends, my teammates, my brothers. I'm overwhelmed. It's crazy.
Andrew, I remember when the first day you came into the Warriors practice facility when you got traded, I said to you, this is the perfect fit for you. Not just your talent, your personality. You were a big-time player in Minnesota. You averaged over 20 points per game. There was never a question. Talk about coming to the Warriors and joining forces with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Not only their talent, but I'm amazed at how they've been able, over 10 years now, welcome different players to the roster, include them and empower them. Talk about that experience, obviously, that led you to being a world champion.
Man, the support on this team, the guys, all the love they show from the organization to the coaches, the fans. The day I stepped here, they welcomed me with open arms. So it's been love ever since. I feel like I've grown to, earn their respect, and their trust. And, they trust me out here in the court. They challenge me every day. So I'm excited, man. And now we're here. This is the end result.
There's something about your game. You were a constant presence for this Warriors team all playoffs long. Yeah. I want to know if you could go back, right, and you can compare yourself now with the Andrew Wiggins that walked in to Golden State for the first time. Yeah. Can you tell me about the growth and the maturity and what you've learned since you've been here in the Bay?
Oh, man, just keep going. Just keep going. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happens, a lot of changes, but as long as you stay true to yourself, play your game, everything's going to be all right. I see in the hard work how hard Steph works, how hard Dre works, Klay, Iguodala, all the vets. You look up and you see them work so hard, and that's motivating. It makes you want to work hard. You just keep going and going.
Wiggs, I got to ask you, man, a lot of naysayers out there with you about being an all-star, just your whole career path. How does it feel now to shut up all the critics and all the haters that had things to say about you?
Let them know, Wiggs.
Man, it feels good. Everyone's going to have something to say, but I feel like I came out here, I proved everyone wrong. And there's more to go, there's more to go.
What did you do? Because you did go through some struggles in February after the All-Star game.
Yeah.
The team was going through some struggles. Steph gets hurt. You're trying to reincorporate Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
What was it that you did there to bring your game back up? Because before the playoffs, we didn't know what we were going to see. Steph had missed the last 12 regular season games.
Yeah.
We know Draymond Green with the back injury. Your struggles. JP was coming along.
Yeah.
What was the mindset of this team as you guys went through that struggle there before you got to the playoffs?
Just keep pushing. We knew, we were so good. To start the season, when Klay came back, we knew we're going to take off. Even though some people were hurt and, a little nicked up, we knew as soon as we got to the playoffs, that was the first time I think all of us played together. but I knew we were going to gel at the right time, and we did.
Wiggs, you brought so much to this team, your perimeter defense, your rebounding, your scoring. But to me, coming into that Memphis series, where Steve Kerr really emphasized you rebounding the basketball because of their size, and sees from that point on, you've been a terror on the boards.
Yeah.
And this series in particular, to me, the two biggest games of your life. The Warriors are down 2-1, playing here on the parquet.
No, he was the man. No, he was the one. He was the one.
The glove. Tell what time it is.
It's his time. It's a Wiggins time. You understand me? Great D, baby. And go right back at him. That's what you do. That's it.
Hey, listen, GP's going to get a big bag.
Hey, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Let him go ahead and do his GP2, man. Congratulations, man. Good work, man. Y'all deserve it. It's all been a good thing. Let's go back to the San Francisco and party.
As I was saying, the two biggest games of your career, Warriors are down 2-1. You step out here, get 17 points, 16 boards, and then in game 5, 26 points and 13 rebounds. To Darrell's point, the biggest games of your life, you stepped up big. Talk about that. You talked about the trust and confidence your teammates have, but your mild-mannered demeanor just to go out there and let your play do the talking.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play my game, regardless. I'm not scared in no moment or anything like that. This is stuff that people, as a competitor, you look forward to. When you want to, bring out your best game on the biggest stage. And that's what I was trying to do. Just that competitive spirit to go out there, shut down whoever I'm guarding, and go at them on the offensive end and try to win the game. Do everything I can to win the game.
Could you see this when you were in Minnesota a few years ago? Could you see this stage? Was there a point in because everybody has a goal when they start the season to win an NBA championship. But now that you're here, could you see this? Is this what your vision was?
This was the ultimate goal. Being an NBA player, you play to win. You play for that championship. And we didn't get around to it in Minnesota, but it's a new chapter in my life. I'm here and I got one.
Yes, sir.
Hard to see through the blizzard and the snow. You couldn't really see it.
It was cold. 10,000 lakes.
Yeah, I got to ask you about, two-way Wiggs. That's who you are now. Just shutting down Jason Tatum, slowing him down, making it hard for him. What did you go into this series thinking, as far as on the defensive end guarding Jason Tatum?
I mean, he's a bucket. He's tough. He can score. I give him credit. He can score all 3 levels. Man, you got height. But I just try to make it hard, contain, stay aggressive, and stay into him. And if he makes a tough shot, which he did sometimes, you just can't get discouraged. He's got to keep doing the same thing, just try to wear him down.
You're going to get some votes for all defensive team next year. You better.
Yeah.
After the last 2 years of the way
Come
you
on, man.
But I know all that doesn't matter because you got a ring coming, Andrew.
Most importantly, yes,
He
sir.
had some posters in his postseason. It was a postseason to remember. Some big-time posters.
For sure.
Wiggs, I'll tell you this, and this is something that came from a bunch of different guys who I've interviewed already. Bogut, Barbosa, whoever, more space, all NBA champions. They said one thing at the end of the podcast each time. They said, don't forget to enjoy the moment. I heard you say earlier, there's more to be done. Nah, the season's over, bro.
The season's over.
Now, you got to enjoy this moment.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm going to go back there, be with my family.
That's right.
Oh, party tonight.
Yes, sir. Right on Monday, baby. Rest up, Wiggs.
Enjoy the parade.
Yes, sir. Rest up, baby. Congratulations. You're an NBA champion, man. Hell of a performance this postseason in the NBA Finals. They started saying you were going to get Finals MVP for a second, man.
I play well, but Steph is Steph. That's one of the GOATs, well deserved. He put the team on his back, and as soon as he steps on the court, there's 4 guys guarding.
Well, congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Congrats, Wiggs.
Go kiss your beautiful daughter. Go celebrate with your family. Andrew Wiggins, he's an NBA champion now. His 3rd season with the Golden State Warriors. Hell of a postseason, averaging over 16 points per game, over 8 rebounds, 6 double-doubles this postseason, 2 in the NBA Finals in games 4 and 5 when the Warriors absolutely had to have those games. Go enjoy your family, man. Go get a cigar.
Add that to my resume.
No doubt. Hell of a
NBA
season.
champ, baby.
NBA champ, baby. NBA champ, Andrew Wiggins.
Yes,
On
sir,
set
baby.
here as the Warriors win their 4th championship in the last 8 seasons. Steph Curry with ring number 4. You see him right there on the floor, just crying and getting all emotional. He deserved it. 4 rings here. And let's bring in the owner of the Golden State Warriors, Joe Lacob. Joe Lacob, Joey Light Ears. He's got the You love that nickname, Joe. You know that nickname is sticking. It's sticking.
I can't comment on that. Raymond would get really mad at me.
No comment on it. Comment on this season. I remember you joined us live in studio in the radio station 95.7 The Game on the Morning Roast with Joe Shasky and I, and you said, man, it would be sweet to get that 4th ring. It would be sweet. You guys got off to a hot start. Some turbulence there towards the end of the season, and then you bring it all together for the postseason. Game 4 here, memorable with Steph, and out for the 4th time in 8 years. After winning 15 games, after not making the playoffs last year, you're back on the NBA's mountaintop.
Well, it's a great feeling, and all the accolades have to go to Steve Kerr and Bob Myers for putting it together and coaching it, and then these players. I mean, people say maybe that, Steph wouldn't have enough left, Clay didn't have enough left, or coming back from an injury, Draymond. These guys did it with a lot of help from Andrew Wiggins, who a lot of people doubted, who I'm so proud of. We added people around the edges. People would say not big deals, but guys like Gary Payton and Otto Porter.
Big additions.
Look, they played in the finals and had big roles.
Bielitsa
too. So great job by Bob Myers and the group. Great job by Kerr and the group for coaching them, and the players, of course, most of all. And we got some young guys that didn't get a lot of chance to play here, but they learned a lot from this. They can't even put a price tag on that. I walk up to Jonathan Kuminga and say, "You can't even put a price tag on what you just learned." And his turn's coming.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, and Joe, congratulations! Just an amazing accomplishment. 4th ring. But as Bonte said, a lot of turbulence along the way. You talk about those 2 lost seasons, and now here you are.
I don't remember them, really.
Now you don't. But my point is this. Steve Kerr, I remember him saying, if your culture can't sustain adversity, you don't have culture. So the ability to get through those 2 seasons, and now to hang a brand new banner in Chase Center. Our brand new, the greatest building in the world. Hanging another brand new banner in the Chase Center.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. It's going to be
So just talk about the journey, though. Like, we're going through those 2 tough seasons and getting to this point. Even this season, Draymond's 20 games left. He's got nerve damage in his back.
Yeah.
Steph misses the last 12 games of the regular season.
You're right.
And for everything to come together. Clay missed in 941 days.
Yes.
And they were sitting here.
That's what people don't realize, how tough this season was. We didn't have our whole team together that we had envisioned, and I like to say paid for. We didn't have that team for 11 minutes. We didn't have it till the playoffs. So nobody else really saw what this team was before that altogether, right? The last 2 seasons were very, very tough, obviously. Clay out, Steph out. They were building years for us, and we looked upon them that way. What made it even worse, Chris, was it was a pandemic, right? I mean, it was really, really hard to get through. Very tough 2 years, but we did, and we persevered as an entire organization. And I couldn't be more proud of everybody on the business side, all the way to the basketball ops side, to the coaches, to everybody.
Joe, I've gotten to know you pretty well over the last few years, but I've gotten to know Peter even more. And he said something there in the acceptance speech. 2 guys from Boston coming here, and they win a championship on this floor. Talk about that and what that journey has been like and what that means for you to stand there at TD Garden and hold